You know how the United States is always crying about people supporting terrorism, whether it's actual terrorism or just being against them? The whole war on terror, the whole national identity that has been created around violence against other countries under the pretext of fighting for freedom and fighting against terrorism. And yet the terrorists just always seem to be happening in the oil-producing places. Well, despite all the rhetoric and despite the national mission of defeating terrorism and the war on terror, and if you don't agree with us, blah, blah, blah. Well, despite all of that, it turns out one country that funds and trains terrorism in the Middle East is the United States government. Seymour Hersh, a journalist in Democracy Now!, the show Democracy Now!, has put forward proof of the United States funding violent opposition groups in Syria. You remember, that's the one that everybody's against, even people on the left are against. Well, what we have now is the proof that the United States is funding the murder of civilians in Syria against Assad. Now, the U.S. Joint Special Operations Command, they trained the Mujahideen-e-Khalq, probably said that wrong, the MEK, at a secret site in Nevada starting in 2005. Now, the MEK has been listed as a terrorist group in the United States for about 15 years. And in fact, Bush was the one who actually started them up. Now, they've become less active under Obama. Obama has decided not to use them as much, but those guys are there right now in Iran, destroying the place. They are the ones attacking and murdering civilians in Syria, pretending to be or acting in favor of acting against the Syrian government and getting a lot of civilians killed. So as this idea that it's, you know, it's all this completely grassroots Arab Spring thing against Assad, we have clear, definite proof that the United States is funding the violent actions against the Syrian government that's getting people killed. I mean, this is not a new story. This is not something that's never happened before. This is very typical, but this is the way things have gone for 16 years. The MEK has been listed as a terrorist group since '93. Now, even with all the information I've given you, a link in the description will take you to the Democracy Now! Article that will actually detail all of what's been going on and give you more information than I've given you now. But I hope that this information that I have given you gives you a bit of context on the hostilities against the Assad government and what the people of Syria really think and are really doing. Because, after all, if Assad was really the bad guy, and he was really pro-imperialist and all the other things that he's claimed to be, why would the United States be attacking him? Because he's not backing up U.S. interests, he's backing up Palestine, he's backing up Hezbollah in Lebanon. That's why they're doing all this against him. I'm not saying that there's no genuine, real outrage against the guy. I'm just saying it becomes suspicious when we know the United States, the world's greatest imperialist power, is funding terrorist groups against them. Even groups that they themselves have listed as a terrorist group. It's a glaring hypocrisy, but we don't really expect any better.